Hello, everyone, and welcome to the American Scouser TV's pre-match show. We are going to try to break down the big match coming up in the next hour. Liverpool taking on Manchester United at Old Trafford. Obviously, it's a massive match for both sides. Some breaking news today coming out regarding the new manager, but who cares? Because we got a match, and all we really care about is getting ready for this one. There will be plenty of time during the week, the morning shows, and all the other content, or next summer to talk about who the next manager is. Let's focus on getting these Reds back to the top of the table when they take on Manchester United. So before we jump in there, gentlemen, good morning. Say hello. We'll do a little round robin. Maka, it's donut time somewhere in Connecticut. How many donuts will we be firing down today?
You're on mute, Mark.
He's so excited for the donuts. He didn't want to hear us chomping and salivating at it.
So, if anybody was watching the Thursday pod, I predicted a loss for Liverpool in a double G tent. That if we do win, I have to eat a dozen donuts on Thursday. So I have to eat a dozen donuts on Thursday.
Ryan Thompson says, hello, boys. I got caught up in the idea of Maka making a bet that would lead to him eating a dozen donuts. Sounds like it's a one-sided bet. He is really rooting for the victory because he really wants those donuts. Yep. Kazi and Sir Z, both from the West Coast. Kazi, how are we doing this morning?
Doing good, brother, yeah. Listen, we already know how big this game is. It was a big game without the permutations of the title. It's always the biggest game in world football, whether people like it or not. And, yeah, it's just a bit more pressure on the Reds, isn't it?
Sure is. And Sir Z's making sure he comes to this battle with his Wu-Tang garb on, ready for war, ready for world domination. Sir Z, how are we doing this morning?
Nervous. Big culture change from 3 weeks ago when I thought we would beat Man United 4-0 in the Cup. I'm crapping myself.
Yeah, it does change it, doesn't it, when you leave kind of that cup competition and you start thinking about how this one rolls out. So let's get right at it. Before we jump in, I do want to remind anyone, if you like the content that we drop here, if you think what we do is fun, our banter is good, you should really see what it's like when we get up in each other, arguing about all things Liverpool, whether it's transfers, FSG, ownership, ticket prices, our opinions of the kits, or just the trash opinions of how bad opposing players like Cole Palmer are. You will read some great stuff in there. But I'm going to drop the link in the chat. If you are going to be watching the match home alone today, why don't you go ahead and get into our virtual pub and check out our Discord channel. We'd love to have you. So click the link, create a username, and go ahead and get on in. Enough of the shameless promotions until the next shameless promotion comes in 5 or 10 minutes. Let's jump right into today's lineup. Outside of the numerical ridiculousness that we mention every single time, Kazi, let's start with you and let's start at the back. Big call, the manager going with two kids on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side, and Bradley and Kwanzaa. I think you had talked about it either the post-match or pre-match during the week. Didn't see Konate probably getting 3 matches in a week. How shocked are you at both Kwanzaa and Bradley starting today in this match at United?
I mean, a little bit. For the Konate one, more than Bradley. I still think Konate's a better centre-half than Kwanzaa. Don't get me wrong. I know Kwanzaa's been playing well, but I think Konate's a better player. I didn't think Konate was great midweek. But, again, I still probably would have started him. I think it's the same side that started the FA Cup game, apart from Gomez playing right back. I think Bradley was in for Gomez. I think it's the same side otherwise. And that was a game that I thought Liverpool dominated and kind of lost the game themselves. Like, it wasn't that United won it. I thought Liverpool lost it. So I feel like if the manager feels like, well, there was a performance there, I just needed to ramp them up again, we can go from there. The biggest standout for me is the bench. It's the first time the bench actually looks like a fucking first 11 bench. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's only one kid on there, isn't it? And Jayden Dance. Like, if you get sent back next week or Jota back, and then before you know it, the bench looks as deep as anything. So it's that's super interesting. The manager does have more subs because I think he did Bobby Clark as a sub in the FA Cup game. I think he brought on Bradley in the game. So it's like now you're starting to, I'm doing Gakpo, Jones, and Elliott to change the game. It's like, fucking hell, these are actually really good players to actually come on and change the game. So the manager has options now. So a little bit surprised about Canate, but still, they're probably as strong as what we could probably go apart from Curtis Jones, maybe.
Ryan Thompson says, surprise Gomez isn't starting at right back. He was subbed out Thursday and Bradley played all 90. Look for Gomez early in the second half. I think that's a good shout. I could see this being kind of a 2 halves. I think the manager doesn't go into any match with set plans on subs, in my opinion, but I think he has an idea if things are going his way, the way he wants to manage a match. And I think barring some craziness or cards or some type of fallout from it, I do think we'll see Gomez at some point in this match. I think we'll also see Canate probably at some point in this match. Kazi brings up Curtis Jones, Maka, and let's go up to the midfield there with you. McAllister and Soboslai, a very strong midfield, one we've talked about seeing, but in my opinion, not our strongest. Is this about Soboslai's last kind of game and a half of pretty good form, or does this say a lot more probably to the fact that Curtis Jones has some minutes in the legs, but maybe not 60 from the start already back? Why not Curtis Jones in this match?
No, I think it's the second one that you said there. I think it's just a matter of getting him up to match speed at this point of the season, because you need everybody firing on all cylinders. Like I would imagine Klopp is thinking, what's the point of putting Curtis on and then having to take him off 30 minutes later because he's not match fit? So I think it's the second one, and I think we probably see more Curtis Jones as long as we stay in the Europa League. And we have the Thursday, Sunday cycle going. We'll see more Curtis Jones. So I think, are we playing Atlanta on Thursday?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think we might see him on that one. And then Szoboszlai getting a rest. So, I mean, that for me, as long as Endo and McAllister are on the field, I'm actually quite happy with Kwanzaa and Bradley on that side. I was a little bit more worried beforehand, because I thought Endo would be out or at least on the bench. So midfield-wise, I think right now, with maybe an argument for Elliott, that's probably the best we can put out. Although if I'm Harvey Elliott, I'm probably not too happy.
Serzi, I think Elliott probably understands his role at this point. And I think he's kind of accepted the fact that he can change matches from the bench. And, I think as time goes on, I think football is becoming more like other sports with specialized players. I honestly think there will be like closers eventually in soccer, the way there are in some other sports. Guys who literally come in and play the last 20, 30 minutes, and they make their careers and their bones off of it, and they get paid like it. I don't think it's an easy explanation to a 21-year-old kid who believes he should be starting the match from the beginning. Let's go up top. Not really much of a decision here, in my opinion. They kind of start themselves at this point. Diaz, Nunez, and Mo. What are you looking for from that front three? And before we take a look at the United lineup, which is scarce to say the least for talent at the back, where do you think the biggest threat comes from? Is it Diaz's pace and unpredictability on the left? Is it Darwin's runs at Harry Maguire and a kid I can't pronounce his last name? Or is it, the best right wing, arguably, and one of the best right wings in Premier League history, just tormenting them at Old Trafford once again?
God, you can pick any one of them. I think Salah, just because he got taken off the other day and he's got a point to prove. They got this kid, Kambwala, I know nothing about. I haven't seen him play. So I'm not sure it's a left back, right back, centre back, goalkeeper. I don't know what he is, but whoever he is, I mean, hopefully, we've got strength up front that can take advantage of him. Plus, you've got Maguire as well, who's just a mistake waiting to happen. I think the game will be won and lost in midfield. To be honest with you, the midfield's pretty strong. But yeah, the attack picks itself. I think there's no disputing that attack. It's pretty much how Mane, Bobby, and Salah was before. I think that attack just picks itself. And just going back to Elliott, I think I said it before. I think he's like the new Fabinho for Klopp, where he knows he can drop him, and Elliott's not going to create a stink. But again, it's just the nature of the game now. Like it's a first 15, it's no longer the first 11, it's your first 15.
Yeah.
Any one of them game players can come in and you could get taken off at half time, and that means nothing if you started and you got taken off at half time. It's just a matter of coming on and playing and getting your minutes.
I think it's hard, that guy, falling off what says he's head there, right? I think the key is Salah. And I know but Dallow's a right back. He played well right back this year, by the way. He's had a really good season for them. He's playing left back. And then it's Harry Maguire and Kambwala. Harry Maguire's got his own issues going on, like to get his form back and kind of get his, you know what I mean? So he has his own problems. And then he's got to talk a kid through a game. And it's not just any game. It's the biggest game in world football. So there's an argument there where Liverpool, if you just start well, really, high pressure, first 15, 20, and let's find out what they're about. The problem is for Liverpool is the other way with Rashford. Whether you like Rashford or not, he's played really well in these games at Old Trafford, and he's caused Liverpool's problems. And if I was Rashford, I'd be licking my lips at Target and Conor Bradley. I really would. I'd be like, I'll have a bit of him. But for the other side, for Bradley and Kwanzaa kind of thing, I'd be looking at that going, I fancy this today. And that's another bit where he's got to have the bit between his teeth, because again, he knows how big this game is. He's from Manchester. He's a local boy. He knows. Do you know what I mean? So it's a tough one, but I do think the wingers here have got a really big says in the game, massively. And I think Szoboszlai might have his biggest game for a while, because he has to help Bradley out. He has to help him out defensively. They will try and counter it, and they will. And if on his side, and he works hard. Fair play to Szoboszlai, mate. The one thing you can never question is his work rate. He works really hard. But today, he's going to have to work extra hard, because he's going to have kids all over him, basically, in terms of Bradley and Kwanzaa, who are going to need help. And we need his work rate off the ball.
Yeah, we know we got the United lineup up on the screen now. Apologies to everyone who has to look at that mug this early in the morning. But
Adam's family.
You look at Maguire, obviously, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, and Kambwala. And then you got another kid in Manu, as good as he's looked sitting in front of him. You have a guy who's literally got no legs whatsoever left. I mean, Casemiro looks like a broken down. And I understand at one point he played the 6 like a Rolls Royce. He now operates like the type of Rolls Royce I could afford, like one that was like in the 80s and probably really isn't a Rolls Royce. I just stole the headpiece off another car and put it on. It's like that guy that has the Mercedes emblem on his Honda. It's just like, we know it's not a Mercedes, lad. We know what's going on here. That's where Casemiro's at this point. What to you? Maka Kazi mentioned Rashford hitting us on the counter, and he has been good. Højlund is a target man, and obviously they have some pace in the young Garnacho, and of course a playmaker in Fernandes. Out of that front four, where do you think United's best chance to hurt this Liverpool defense is? Is it the speed on the left-hand side, attacking the kids, or is it Højlund going through the center, maybe targeting young Kwanzaa specifically?
That's exactly what I would think, is Højlund targeting Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is silk. Like we've talked, I've certainly talked about him like almost being like a younger Matip. Like he just looks composed all the time. But I against Højlund, I'd be happier with the sheer strength of Konate, because literally you could run a bus at Konate and the bus is coming out worse from that particular contact. So that would be for me. That'd be the first thing that I'd worry about, and then the second thing would be the pace of Rashford. But I think Bradley is fast enough to keep up with that, so that's why I'm not as worried about that one. And I think Endo being in there covers some spaces that Bradley might have to vacate. So for me, it's just Højlund against Kwanzaa. But I didn't even realize they had that kid at the back. So I really want to be eating a ton of donuts. Let's put it that way on Thursday, and I'm expecting to. Haven't seen the United lineup.
Right, I'm just looking at this lineup here, right? That's their best midfield and best strike force, isn't it? And that's it. That's what they've got.
Yeah.
That's it. They're fucking all that money you've spent, and that's what you can offer. I was just sitting there and pulled the face when I was reading it, going, they're not missing anyone. They're not missing anyone up front, all in the midfield, right? That's their best midfield.
Well, other than the manager running out a guy who was their record buy at the beginning of the season, I mean, would Sancho not make this team better? I'm sorry, he would. I understand the attitude thing, and he'll probably come back there now. You watch. the new manager will probably come in and be like, we'll give you a lifeline if you want it. I wouldn't go back if I were him, but that's, again, another conversation for another day. I will say, if I'm Mason Mount, I'm thinking to myself, what I do, because I can't get into this side. Like, I'm in real peril here.
He's had his injuries, and he hasn't long come back from it, so I'll give him that credit. But when you're looking at it and thinking, that's your best midfield and strike force, you're fucking crap, you know. You're actually crap. It's mad, isn't it? Like, that's a bunch of kids. Like, Garnacho's a kid. That Mainu's a kid. Do you know what I mean? It's just a weird concoction of players, isn't it?
Well, they have a bunch of kids in Kambala, Manu, Garnacho, you know, the Ahmad, Hoyland, the Diallo kid on the bench that scored the winner against us, live wire player who was at Sunderland last year, you know, on loan. They have a bunch of kids, and then they have Christian Eriksen, Amrabat, and the ghost that was Casemiro. And Harry Maguire still in their side. They're just a broken unit. And, you know, that's why I think when people say, like, oh, they're a player or two, a transfer window or two, a new manager, this team is so far off of competing with the likes of City, Arsenal, which is why, to your point, Kazi, you know, why it's so maddening that all that goes out the window sometimes when you put these two teams up against each other. So you got to come out today with your mindset to get in a scrap, to get in a street fight, to battle. You got to be aggressive, but not over aggressive. You know, they're going to try to wind us up. You know, they're going to look for cards. We got Anthony Taylor as the referee, which is never easy to navigate, right? We know what happens, you know, as Kazi and I, them damn Mank refs. You know, it's going to be an interesting one. So let me ask you this then. What do you expect? Mako, will start with you on this one. What do you expect from the start here? Do you expect a kind of reserve Liverpool that maybe comes out guns blazing, comes out firing right from the opening whistle, maybe tries to grow into the game and just kind of settle and make sure that they don't give United an early opportunity to get Old Trafford behind them and really build it? How do you expect this match to start for Liverpool today?
I mean, history over the last maybe couple of months has shown that we're probably going to start slow. That's why we keep conceding those goals or letting those teams in. That's what my worry is that we won't do heavy metal from the start. If we do, it's going to be very bad for Man United, especially for that Kambala kid, if he has to suddenly face an onslaught of 6 Liverpool attackers from the first whistle. So that's what I'm hoping for. But what we've been doing is letting teams get a little bit of a grip on the game and then we fix it in the second half. And that's my worry. If we'd have won the FA Cup game and if we'd have won the Anfield game, I wouldn't have entertained the idea of us losing this one. But it just strikes me as a Gerard Houllier over United in the early 2000s thing, that no matter how bad United are doing, for some reason we just play down to their level so far this season whenever we play them. So I really hope we go like the whole heavy metal from the start thing again, because that if we get 2 goals early, that's it.
Yeah.
They've literally nothing to come back with.
That crowd's on edge, innit? That crowd's on edge, Gallic. They know. They know. They're not stupid. United fans are very actually knowledgeable fans. They conceding like over 20-odd goal shots a game. They know if they go fucking 2-0 down inside 15-20 that you're going to fucking turn them. Do you know what I mean? And the crowd will be right, you know, this isn't going to look good today. So I agree with Mackham massively, man. I think Liverpool need a big first 20, massive first 20.
Yeah.
Like just really putting them back. Even if you don't score, just dominate and go, like, this is none of your business today. It's not your business. This is our business. And you're just here because we've got to play you. Do you know what I mean? So you're just here because you're just next on the list. That's what Liverpool have to think, even if you don't score early. And again, I go back to it. You can open up some wounds, mate. Again, 20-odd shots a game. That game was only Thursday, you know, away at the Bridge. Took loads out of you. 100-odd minutes the game went for in the end. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Takes loads. Liverpool's game over after fucking 70. Let's get it right. When Macca scores, it's game over. Sheffield United don't get in our box. In our area after that. So Salah's had a rest on 60. Do you know what I mean? There's all little bits and bobs where Liverpool should be fucking flying into this game. And again, if Brentford can go... Brentford went to Brentford and concede 30-odd shots. Went to Chelsea, did the same. Everton, when they played Everton at home, when they won 2-0, and I thought Everton played really well that game, should have scored Liverpool as well. So it feels like it's wide open for Liverpool. The FA Cup games are one-off for me. Liverpool dominate the game, Liverpool lose the game. So if you want to harp back to the FA Cup game, no problem at all. But even then, Liverpool still have shots and create chances. Do you know what I mean? And that's rare as well. Used to go into Old Trafford. Mac, I remember, mate. And we're in that position when we were under Houllier and they were fucking winning the league title. And the best thing we could hope for is to beat them to cost them the league. And then they'll just come to Anfield and beat you 1-0, like with like John O'Shea scoring in the last minute and break me heart. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what they would do to you. And Liverpool are in that position now. Just go down in and fucking play to them. They've lost 12 games in the league, you know, out of 30. They're fucking crap. Let's just go there and beat them. Like, I know what I mean. And I know we're all scarred because it's United and we have this rivalry. But if Liverpool just playing that team on paper, Liverpool should win.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So Z, you know, your statement says it right under your name. Pressure's on. So, which Liverpool player do you see honing that pressure and turning that pressure into something beautiful today? Is it Maka putting in another, you know, man of the match type performance from the midfield? Is it, you know, everybody's favorite Japanese international Endo showing back up and just kind of coming in and cleaning up and showing everyone why he really was the best number 6 purchased in the Premier League this year? It's funny how somehow we ended up signing the 2 best number 6s in the league that moved this year, even though a bunch of other teams did. Who specifically takes this moment and steps forward for you?
I think Endo, he's our new Dyson. He's our new Fabinho, so he's just going to do all the dirty work. But again, I think Maka and Salah will make the difference today. I think Salah just being taken off the other day, Klopp got into his head. I think he's got a point to prove. But McAllister, I know you said Cole Palmer's probably the signing this season, but McAllister, this guy, we're literally watching a genius every game. Like, he's just taking control of that game. Like, if Van Dijk wasn't captain, I'd give him the captaincy. He's just we needed someone to take us, you know, the game by the scruff of the neck, and he does that. He does that on the field. He does it off the field. He's just, McAllister for sure. I think he'll dictate that game, hopefully. And then he obviously is playing further up front, or further up the field, which is his strongest position. Yeah, I think that's he'll be the game changer. And if not, we've got a great bench, almost like a first 11 bench. But I think Man United will come out all guns blazing. They've got nothing to lose. I don't think they'll play it cautious. I think, you know, but hopefully that will drain them out and we just take control of the game.
It's interesting that, Gary, what you said there, though, mate, right? It's because I'll tell you why. United have to win the game. If they want to get in the top 5, they have to win. They can't afford no more drop points. So United have to come out and play. Mm. The FA Cup game, they end up with like Maguire in front in that because it makes no difference to them because they were going out anyway. They were losing the game anyway. You may as well go out. You may as well go out on your soul, aren't you? I want Liverpool to do the same. I'll put Van Dijk up front in every fucking FA Cup game that we're going out. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit of a difference now, but difference is, again, they can't afford no more drop points. When you speak about players, mate, I'd always go Harvey Elliott this season. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mate, it doesn't matter when he comes on the pitch. He's been Liverpool's most consistent midfielder. He's been unbelievable. And I thought he was excellent when he came on in the FA Cup. He gets a goal as well. Do you know what I mean? And it's just someone to come in, mate, and just go, I know exactly what my job is and what I can do for this team. And he came on the wing against Sheffield United, kind of a little bit. He can't play further forward for a bit as well. So he's just fucking excellent, man. I can't talk highly of him, really growing of age. And I can't believe it. I think he's like 21, isn't he? Still.
He just turned 21 this week.
Yeah, so, I mean, there you go. It's just a young kid. But yeah, for United, mate, the game plan changes if you're 1-0 down because you have to open up. You have to come out and try and win the game. Otherwise, let's be fair, if you lose today, United aren't finishing in the top 5, are they? Especially if Spurs win. So
we bring in Timuchin to join us here to help us wrap it up and close it out. I want to thank all the people who are commenting, all those as well on Instagram that are following us. We have a big promotion going right now and a giveaway that we're attached to. So if you haven't already, get on over to our Instagram page. Give it a like. Don't forget to follow us over there. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. I've put the links in all the chats throughout the morning. Also, keep your comments coming. If you want to get them on screen, an easy way is to call the host Legendary. That will usually get your comment pulled right up on screen.
Absolute cheat.
How
plug-
low can
cheap
you go,
plug.
man? How low?
He goes pretty low. I only stand about 4 feet off the ground, so I go pretty low. But it's got to be legendary for Sadu to agree with me. He was also very happy to see that Gomez wasn't playing. I'm sure if we had talked about Curtis Jones more, he would have let us know he's happy about that too. I'll start there. I think Jones and Elliott come in at some point in the second half and really help see this game out. And who would have ever thought that we would kind of take the James Milner can do everything, play everywhere, super sub role, and it would go from the 850-year-old guy to the 21-year-old, and Harvey Elliott would take over the I'm in, let's just finish this match the way we need it. So let's get in, guys. Timuchin, give us your thoughts on today's match, the lineup after you saw it, and then we'll start our predictions. After you give us your take on today's match, we'll start some of our predictions with you, with the score, and maybe a man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, I worry about that right side of the defense. I think Kazi was talking about it earlier. I think I would have felt more comfortable with Gomez and Konate. I don't know if that's too defensive in some ways. Maybe we wanted to take advantage of the fact that Rashford does not track back, and maybe Bradley can get something over there. And the only other thing I can think of, Kwanzaa, is we know they're going to sit back, and Kwanzaa is a lot better coming out with the ball between those lines and kind of like creates kind of havoc, like a young Matip, if you will. You don't get that as much from Konate in terms of like on the ball. So that's the only reasoning I can think of, but it does worry me defensively. I mean, it's me, so I'm nervous as hell. It's United, so I'm like triple the nerve going over here. But as long as we do not have a poor start and we get a goal in, I think we just got to take that crowd out of the game and actually take the crowd on our side, because once it becomes 1-0, and then if it becomes 2, you're going to win that crowd. They're going to be rooting for Liverpool and not United at that point, and that's when those historic results come. So just got to make sure we do not give up something silly on the counter.
Yeah, and do you have a score prediction for today?
I'm going with my special, baby. I'm going with my special, the 3-1. Let's hope it's not the 3-1 from midweek, though. That was a nervy 3-1. I want a more comfortable 3-1, but I'll go with the 3-1.
Sadu couldn't have a program without slating Curtis Jones somehow. Kwanzaa is good, but he hangs on the ball too much like Jones. The guy only has the best possession stats in the entire Premier League, has lost the ball the least amount, and has the best retention rate and tracking back, tackling ability. All the guy does is make the right decision and catch heat from Sadu. I'm not sure where you are, Sadu, but where it is, there is a big ass sign that says Curtis Jones need not apply. Ryan says a comfortable 2-0. I hope. That's what I was going to go with, but not so fast. I'm actually going to say it's 2-1. I'm hoping it goes from 2-0 to 2-1, and then it's just a nervy final 10 minutes and not vice versa. But I just have this feeling we are going to have to work for this one today. I hope I'm absolutely wrong, and we are just drubbing it by the end. Maka, what about you for a prediction and maybe a man of the match or someone that the viewers should watch for the amount of for how important they will play a role in today's fixture?
I'm sticking with my Thursday night down at time, double jinx 2-1 loss. And that's genuine that I had that concern on Thursday that this could be a banana skin. So I'm going to stick with that. But the prediction I will make, the player to look out for, is Kambwala, because I think he's going to give away a penalty against Nunez or Salah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one too. With Diaz running at you, Diaz doesn't even know where he's going. How is a kid who can barely spell his own last name supposed to know where he's going to go? Kazi, you've watched probably more of these. As many of these as any of us. You've seen them firsthand, obviously, growing up over there. What is it like today as a Scouser, even one sitting right here in the United States? What's the angst like? What do you think the feeling's like back home? And what do you think the final result will be?
It's nice that the tables are turned for when I was growing up and Liverpool were in the position of Man United and Man United were in the position of Liverpool. So it's nice to be in that position. Listen, mate, we know it's the biggest game in the world, in world football. I'm not entertaining any other conversation. It's not a conversation. I say this all the time, Gally, that the only reason why other teams exist in England is because you get bored of watching Man U and Liverpool play each other every week. That's why you exist. You exist to play Liverpool. You exist to play Man United. And that's how it is, because we are the two biggest clubs. And it's Listen, the nerves are there. Of course, the nerves are there, but this is not a really good Man United side. The nerves are there when we went there under Ollie, we beat them 5-0, and we were the best fucking team I've ever seen. And then you're sitting there 4-0. You're sitting there 4-0 up at half time, and you're going, "We're going to beat these 8-0." Like, this is going to be 8-0. Like, and it was the most lovely 45 minutes I've ever had supporting Liverpool. Genuinely, I think it is the nicest 45 I've ever had in my life. Just sitting back watching Liverpool create chance after chance. But today, I predicted the Timuchin special. Actually, I think 3-1 Liverpool. I do think it's going to be. I do think it's going to be graft. I do think it's going to be hard work. I don't think it's going to be easy. Liverpool has to work really hard to win this game. You know, the man of the match thing, I don't know, mate. Fucking probably Jones when he comes off the bench for 20 and just looks beautiful. But I mean, there's an argument there, though, mate, for Kwanzaa. This is my point as well, because I know Timuchin. I want to start winning some fucking headers on some set pieces, you know, because he's absolutely massive. Like, I've never seen him win a header. Like, you're massive, lad. Get involved. Liverpool are great at set pieces. Do you know what I mean? Get involved. And that's one thing that we can get with Konate, Tim, is that he does win headers. He scored big goals. He scored in the semi-final, the Champions League, I think, Villarreal, FA Cup. He scored in the FA Cup semi-final, I think. So he does get involved, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm going 3-1 Liverpool. Liverpool have to win. And whether we like it or not, Sky want Liverpool to win because they want this title race to go down to the last day. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I'll go 3-1 Liverpool.
I like it. And so any surprises from any of you? Big prediction, something the listeners can watch out for as we get ready and wrap up. We're going to bring Sir Z back in. He dropped off. We'll let Sir Z get in with his prediction as well. What do you got for a score here today, buddy?
Same as you, Getty. Nervous 2-1. Yeah,
2-1. Too often you come in. I never know where I'm going with Sir Z. You either drop 6-0 on me or 2-1 and shaky and nerves. Like there's no in between.
3 weeks ago, and I was just depressed for a week. I wanted to like shut myself off for a month. So
I hear you.
This team is just like Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know what Man United are going to turn up, and yeah, if you lose
this team is like Jekyll and Hyde. Who never hides? All of us fools here on American Scouser TV. So if you haven't, get on over to the YouTube page. Give it a subscription. You won't regret it. If you do, don't tell us. Feel free to check out. We have the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning coffee brought to you by our good friends at Reckless Coffee. Our coffee programming, 10 a.m. Eastern. We have our Monday and Thursday night podcast, the Premier League show with me and Bickler, the panel show. We got Redditorials and short videos coming out all week long. So please get on in, like and subscribe to the content. Leave us a message. Let us know. Don't forget, we will be back during the post-match right after the final whistle to hopefully be discussing and breaking down the victory at Old Trafford today. And Liverpool.
I want to say to our fans here tonight to listen, a draw's not the end of the world. Just relax. If it is a draw, relax. It's not the end of the world. A draw at Old Trafford is okay. It's okay. Okay? I still expect Liverpool to win the last 7. If Liverpool win the last 7, I still think we win the league anyway, even if we draw today. So let's all relax. Let's not lose our fucking minds because United might get a stinky last-minute one. Just relax.
Don't put this shit out of the universe last second and stuff. What the...
And if all of you had this morning, April 7th, as the day that Kazi would become our therapist, you won the crazy thought of the morning bingo card. He's not wrong. A draw isn't the end of the world, but God damn it, let's go get 3 points so we can all come back with a beer or two in our hands, maybe a smile, some fat dogs, all excited, fat and happy for the post-match. I want those dogs sleeping from being overfed. That's what I'm looking for today, okay? So everyone, please don't forget, check out all the pages, enjoy the match. We will be back as soon as the final whistle, a few minutes after, and we will be on all the same mediums. Have a great match, enjoy it, and we'll see you soon.